today is May the 22nd. So happy May 22nd. May 22nd is the 142nd day of the year. It'd be the 143rd in leap years. Of course, in the Gregorian calendar, because who would use a Julian? It's Gregorian calendar. There are 223 more days left in the future. So we are 142 days into this year, 223 days left. What's all happened on May 22nd real fast, and then a short explanation later. Happy first country in the world to legalize gay marriage day. It's 2015. Happy Tokyo Skytree Day, 2012. Happy Biological Diversity Day. This is a true blue United Nations sanctioned holiday. So this is an actual happy Biological Diversity Day. Happy Ethernet Day, 1973. Happy first genetically modified cellular transfer day, 1989. Happy first American library built day, 1803. Happy Great Society Day, 1964. Happy two new moons of Saturn discovered day, 1995. Happy Anti-King Day, 1246. Happy Mastodons and humans living together day, 1979. Happy Fahrenheit 9/11 Day, 2004. Happy Go Fuck Yourself Bobby Frank Cherry Day, 2002. So, let's start off with the Irish thing. So in Ireland, 2015, it's remarkable how we've had the legalization of marijuana for 5-6 years in only a handful of states. So there have been sweeping changes in some places, other places not at all. 3 years ago, the first country in the world to legalize gay marriage. The Supreme Court had de facto legalized it, 2 years ago. But it hasn't been outright legalized. It's de facto legalized. It's kind of like a Brown versus Board of Education decision. But still, this is 3 years ago. This is how far we've gotten. 2018, 2015, 3 years ago, the first country in the entire world legalized gay marriage. The first one. They held referendums on May 22nd, 2015 on 2 proposed amendments to the Constitution of Ireland. The amendments, which were among those recommended by the Constitutional Convention, would reduce the age of candidacy for the President of Ireland from 35 to 21 and permit same-sex marriage in the Republic of Ireland. So now you can run to become President of Ireland if you are a gay or lesbian 21-year-old. So that would be pretty exciting to see a 21-year-old gay or lesbian leader of Ireland. When I think of the Irish, I think of a lot of machismo. I think of a lot of drunkenness. So that's remarkable. That's incredible, right? You guys think they're a bunch of damn leprechauns, a bunch of drunken leprechauns, and here they got their shit together to where they're legalizing same-sex marriage over everybody. And then that's the home of the Catholics, right? Isn't that like huge? Their Catholicism is huge. So that's a big middle finger to Catholicism. At least the traditional, plank of Catholicism. The first successful transfer of cells containing foreign genes into a human being performed at the National Institutes of Health. There was cancer-fighting cells that was altered, that was played into the blood of a cancer patient. So it was genetically modified cancer-fighting cells put into the blood of a cancer patient. So, yeah, I don't know. The genetic modified part is something different. It was 1989. Whatever. So, 1803. I don't know. I'm not a medicine man, okay? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medicine doctor man. I'm just, I'm just a Southern lawyer. 1803, first U.S. public library opens in Connecticut. So, happy Library Day, right? That's great. Libraries are wonderful. Libraries, you got Wi-Fi, right? People that are against public Wi-Fi. Are you going to tell the libraries, hey, quit giving out that Wi-Fi for free? So, that was 1803, the first U.S. public library. What state? Connecticut. So astronomers Amanda S. Bosch, Andrew S. Rifkin found 2 new moons of Saturn in photos taken by the Hubble Space Telescope. 1964, LBJ presents the Great Society. The 2 new moons of Saturn, I think you could just do a whole section just on that. So it's essentially Copernicus, when he was trying to figure out, whether the sun, the moon goes around the earth goes around the sun. What's the deal here? They were being told the Aristotelian model was that Earth was in the middle. Everything revolved around Earth. That's what everybody thought. That's what the Catholics thought. That's what all the leading scientists in the 1500s, that's what they thought, that the stars and the planets and the sun all revolved around the Earth. Because clearly, why wouldn't they? You're the center of the universe, mankind. Of course everything revolves around you. Of course it does. So the way they found it out was the moons of Jupiter and then the moons of Saturn. And so, yeah. Cool, right? Gravity. Think about gravity. So we keep going around the sun, right? Because that's how gravity works. But then what the hell is making it go around the Saturn? And then they say bigger objects to smaller objects. But, I don't know. Like, I have a pen in this hand, and I'm bigger than it, but it doesn't go towards me. So there's definitely a scale, right? Something with scale. And Einstein said that gravity is bullshit. Einstein said gravity is bullshit. So if you haven't rectified the theory of relativity yet, you're behind. That's Einstein is classical physics. You're behind 100 years if you haven't considered the theory of relativity in your day-to-day life. Great society. Today we have Medicare and Medicaid. And that's pretty much it. But the scope of it, the 64, I guess, integration, that's huge, right? So LBJ should be credited with integration. But he spent all that fucking money on the Vietnam War. So the programs he wanted to have, he had a war on poverty. He had a war on Vietnam. He had the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. So he went ahead and basically gave the South to the Republicans forever. Even today, the South is full of Republicans. But the Great Society carrying on with the frontier, the new frontier of JFK. That was his platform, his party. That's what he was aiming for, to go to the new frontier. And then LBJ was the Great Society. They said that it very much compared to FDR's New Deal. So Great Society, I think it's huge. He presents the Great Society. So it says he launches it. I don't know if he launched it with a speech. I can find some quotes, because I keep on finding, I want to find the most important days, and I like the scientific holidays the best, to be honest with you. But this is just something for me to work on every year until the day I die. But this is just compiling a list of 12 things, and then finding essentially the top 3 things that are, the most worthy of celebration. And so I think, and then I'll list all the stuff that I considered, and we can move it up or down depending on, whatever, right? The Ethernet was invented in 1973. So Robert Metcalfe, he wrote a memo describing a way to transmit data from early generation of personal computers to a new device, the laser printer. So you want to personal computers to a laser. 1973. Computer's been around that long. That's when the computer was as big as a room. So he called his multi-point data communication systems Ethernet. Today it continues to dominate as a standard computer network. U.S. patent for multi-point data communication system with collision detection was issued December 13th, 1977 to Metcalfe and others who developed the Ethernet. The patent was assigned to the Xerox Corporation. So Ethernet is invented. I was like, is this important? I'm like, well, shit, I use the Ethernet, right? I don't use the Tokyo Skytree, but it's the tallest tower in the world. So once you construct the Tokyo Skytree, and you're the tallest tower in the world, until there's another tower that's taller, that is notable and distinguished, and very cool. So, and that's any construction. You construct anything, it'll stay there until it's, destroyed. Until it's not. If you make things, they'll stay there until it's not there. Then it's, The second tallest man-made structure on Earth is the Tokyo Skytree after the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, in the Dubai. You fly me out to Dubai, right? So the Tokyo Skytree, tallest tower in the world, 2012, open to the public. That happened May 22nd. Ethernet was invented. The Great Society unveiled the 2 new moons of Saturn. The first public library was opened May 22nd. This has a lot of good words, so pay attention. International Day for Biological Diversity, International United Nations sanctioned day. The topic of biodiversity concerns stakeholders in sustainable agriculture and desertification and land degradation and drought and water and sanitation and health and sustainable development, energy, science, technology and innovation, knowledge sharing and capacity building, urban resilience and adaptation, sustainable transport, climate change and disaster risk reduction, oceans and seas, forests, vulnerable groups including indigenous peoples, and food security. Critical role biodiversity and sustainable development is recognized in the Rio +20 outcome document, The World We Want, A Future for All. So happy Biological Diversity Day. So that's the United Nations. 2004 57th Cannes Film Festival, Fahrenheit 9/11, directed by Michael Moore, wins the Palme d'Or. I guess that's the best picture or what have you. The first documentary to win the Cannes Film Festival, Palme d'Or. Fahrenheit 9/11 was a badass film. After the Iraq War just began, just before Bush's next term, so he's got this video out that's saying he's a lying piece of crap about the weapons of mass destruction and a bunch of other information. So, very ballsy. And then W comes out, so actually Oliver Stone throws something out in his second term. So, yeah, Bush got hit pretty hard. I almost think Trump is so damn corrupt that a Fahrenheit 9/11, you could do 50 of them and it wouldn't even hit him as hard, because it's like, well, he's a corrupt son of a bitch. That's what we elected him for. That's why we elected him to be a corrupt. At least he's our corrupt son of a bitch, right? Or the Russians, or I don't know, the China. Who gives a shit, right? We don't. It's not like we're gonna vote, right?